Well, I may have to be yelling for you to hear me tonight. Let's see if I can push it to 12 dBs higher. Okay, if you can hear me. Hi, Zina. Zina, if you can hear me, please let me know. I'm trying to do my best here to get through. Yeah, I am at my favorite cemetery. They would not sell me a plot so I can rest here when I'm done. I mean, when I'm done with this earth, not with this broadcast. So, I forgot the microphone at home, so I'm trying to use the mic that is built into the laptop, which is never an ideal situation. So, we're going to try to... What happened to the moon? Ah, okay. I have too many windows open at the same time. I'm going to lower this one a bit. There we go. Move this one that away. Raise it a bit. I only have one monitor tonight. I usually operate with 4 monitors at least. So we're testing a new setup. To my pleasant surprise, the bandwidth is good. Yes, I can see your comments. It says greetings, oh no no, LOL. And then, oh, I hear you now. And then, yes, I hear you fine. And then it actually sounds okay. Can you see my comments? No, I cannot. So I discovered to my horror, well, not to my horror, I knew it, that the roof of the Tesla is glass. So I cannot put my new antenna to boost the cell signal. I cannot put it on the roof. So I decided I will just put it on the front, on the hood. Turned out the hood is aluminum, not steel. So the magnet does not stick and we do not have coverage. So I'm operating without a booster. What was I gonna do? Okay, I was gonna record a minute of the moon. As you can see, the sky is reddish. That's to the east. The moon is rising. I have 6:48. We will attempt to go chasing the comet as early as 7:15 today. We'll see if we can get it. And I have company tonight. There is a gentleman, a photographer with a very, very large lens on his camera, trying to take pictures of the moon. I don't know if he's looking for the Indian restaurant with his big lens. So we're done recording a minute. Now we go to Astro Mode and verify that the coordinates of the comet are correct. Atlas. And if I have not mentioned it yet, I don't like the way the screen rotates in DWARF whenever we go from one mode to the next. Look. All right, do we have SWAN? We have a few swans. There's R2 SWAN. Tell me what you know about it. It thinks it is here. Let me see if I can enter a manual 15 hours 25 minutes 15 seconds 15 25 15 next minus 16. The coordinates that were in there were for the morning comet. 16, 13, 15. One click go to. Let's say yes for now. Okay, see, this is the difference. Cancel. That is the difference between where they think the comet is and where I think the comet is. That's not a big deal, so it don't matter. Let's go back to the moon. Let's go back to tracking it. No, video, audio, photo, whatever. Zena, are you watching on your cell phone or on a laptop? Hello, Isobig. I am operating at very, very, very low bandwidth today. So please let me know if the display looks okay to you. And while we're at it, if you can click on your YouTube settings and see what data rate it shows you that we are transmitting at. It definitely is not 4K, it is 0.4K. So, thank you, Isobig. And for those who just joined us, you are watching the Pompey Observatory on the road or in the cemetery, whichever. This is one place that gives me 360-degree view of the world. This was supposed to be the future home of the Pompey Observatory, but the town zoning board had the last final laugh. Oh, by the way, I will be telling Bill when we see Bill. I found an 8-foot dish for my radio telescope. It's near Rochester, New York. I am in touch with the owner. They are willing to sell it to me. We're trying to set up a date for pickup. And when we do that, we'll be able to image the Milky Way 1 pixel at a time. An 8-foot dish is big. Hello, Jacob. Hi, Steve. Steve, I found on Craigslist an 8-foot dish in Penfield, New York, near Rochester. They have the dish, the mount, all the electronics, a motorized mount, and the receiver and the whole thing, which is sitting in their garage fairly protected. I was surprised how good it looks. So I'm going to try to go look at it and see it. Hold off your neighbor for just a few days to see if we can get the one from Penfield. Yes, Jacob, it is. And yeah, I did not want to get a fiberglass one with a thin layer of copper on it, because after 20 years of rain and hail and snow and everything else outside will have totally worn. This one is a metal grid, and it looks in good shape. It breaks into 3 or 4 pieces, so I'll be able to load it in the van and drive it back. Yeah, going to an 8-foot dish is going to improve quite a bit. It will narrow the band a lot. I'm going to have to do some tinkering with it to put my receiver to replace the 2.4 gigahertz with the 1.4 gigahertz, and then get the LNA and the SDR. I'm confident I'll get it up and running. Initially, it'll be sitting on the deck outside until I figure a way to move it onto the former site of the Rooster Inn Observatory, where we have a very nice platform, actually crushed stone for it to sit on.
Your next possibility on
Whoa,
cars.com.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Where to next?
Shh. How do we turn off the audio? Haha. Okay, audio is gone. I'm trying to display what you guys are seeing on my Tesla display, because it has its own internet access. fish and football, no, my skies are not always good, and that's why we're getting a radio telescope. So when it is cloudy and downright miserable, well, I wish you a good night, Steve. Yeah, we have been lucky the past couple 3 weeks. The skies have been good. Zena, it is just beyond techie. It is really a computer on wheels. I never thought I will like it, but I have been spoiled. The current setup, leveraging Tesla's features, is nothing short than amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a brief break from you to go verify that the scope is where it needs to be, check on a couple of things, make sure none of the stones in the cemetery are moving. I'll be right back. So audio out for just a minute or two. Okay, I am back. All the dead are still resting. One of the niceties of the Tesla is camp mode. When I put it on camp mode, it applies power to the outlets, which I need to power the laptop, the phone, and the tablet, and it keeps the climate inside the cabin comfortable. And that's going to come in handy for the Messier Marathon in March, where it'll be freezing outside, but I will be nice and cozy inside. Hello, John. Hi, Daryl. As you can see, the sky is still very, very bright. I have 7:06. I'm going to give it a few more minutes and then attempt to calibrate. See if DWARF will calibrate. If it does, we'll go straight to look for the comet. It is supposed to be magnitude 5.5. That is naked eye visible. If I see it, I'll let you know. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question for me or you want to say something to me, please put at Pompey Observatory so it will highlight in the chat. Otherwise, I am trying to focus on squeezing everything in one screen and may miss your message or your question. In the meantime, you have Jacob, who will make fun of you regardless what you say or ask. Plus, Zena is there. Hi, Michael. On what planet are you located, Isobek? Okay. Well, we have the moon that is rising from the east, which makes plate solving and calibrating towards the east practically impossible. Right now, sun to the west, moon to the east, our only chance is the south. As soon as I see a star, any star to the south, I will launch calibration. John, I'll be here till about 8:30 as soon as we're done with the comet. I will be heading home, tearing down, heading home, and getting some sleep so we can be up tomorrow again. Yeah, I'm not staying long tonight. Very specific dual mission, Moon, Comet. We got Moon. And we're gonna get Comet. The main purpose for tonight is testing the new setup. I am using my cell phone as a hotspot, but since T-Mobile throttles me to only 500 kilobits per second, I'm trying to push the stream with a lower encoding rate and use up 400 kilobits per second for the video and 64 for the audio, because they won't let me go below that for audio, and drop down to only 10 frames per second, and trying to see what that looks like to you guys. One other change that I made is I'm using a smaller tablet, 1280 by 720. So we're far from 4K, maybe 0.4K at best. Well, yeah, streaming astro images is a little bit like watching paint dry, so there is no high frequency activity, and that's why I'm willing to try it. If my bandwidth stays steady at 500 kilobits per second upload, we are good, we are golden. It sure beats the disaster that we had 2 nights ago. For those who were watching with us yesterday afternoon, we captured the International Space Station. It was a very, very good capture in terms of SkyTrack tracking it very well. And then as soon as we were done, CPWI crashed and wiped out my pointing model. So we're back to square one, or for the computer scientists among you, back to square zero. And I just don't feel like going through polar aligning the telescope one more time and then starting to build the pointing model. It's going to take several days to do that. That's why we did not go chasing Saturn with a big scope last night. Hello, Will. Well, the answer lies somewhere between relativity theory and quantum theory. Can't tell you exactly where. Hello, Bill. Bill, since you just joined us, I'm going to go over a description of the setup one more time. DWARF 3 is sitting on a new tripod, well, new as in recycled from the solar telescope that it used to carry. It has a level, and it's perfectly level right now. It is being powered by a Ryobi USB power charger or whatever power supply, using a Lenovo tablet 8-inch, because it has a lower resolution, 1280 by 720. Using a laptop for with the screen copy, to copy the screen of the tablet, OBS Studio, and then streaming from there with YouTube Studio, considering that the internet connectivity is through my 5G cell phone being used as a Wi-Fi hotspot, and considering that T-Mobile limits me to 500 kilobits per second, we are uploading at only 400 kilobits per second for the video and 64 for the audio. It dropped the frame rate to 10 frames per second and dropped the resolution to 1280 by 720. So it's not a 4K tonight, it's a 0.4K. Welcome back, Gemma. Mike, I saw the video. I have been controlling Seestar directly from Stellarium for a long time. Next step for me is to try to control it directly from SharpCap. But yeah, what they did is we're skipping the little driver. I am a Stellarium / SharpCap person, not a Nina person. And yeah, it is working very well. "1915, I promised I will attempt to see if DWARF is willing to calibrate at this point, so we're going to do it. Okay. Astro. Stop tracking the mode. Thank you. Just a little bit earlier, we looked at the manually entered coordinates for R2 SWAN versus the ones that DWARF had, and they were off by a fraction of a degree, so I'm going to stick with the ones that I entered manually, which is here 15, 25, 15, minus 16, 13, 15. Let's see if it'll do it. And you can see here the difference between them is about 30 arc minutes. DWARF is looking south, so keeping my fingers crossed that it will find stars to calibrate. DWARF said it found the comet. It is pointing in the right direction. Let's see if it indeed has it. Ladies and gentlemen, once more, welcome to the Pompey Observatory on the road. Or in the cemetery, whichever. All right, let's see what ignore gives us. Ignore says we cannot stack because we don't see any stars. I'm not seeing a comet yet. There is a dot to the left of the screen. I don't know if that is the comet. DWARF says it has the comet in its sight and it's tracking it. The sky is still too bright. We're going to stay on it. I see no need at this point to move the telescope. We'll just move the Earth a bit faster. Bill, are you able to check the neighborhood of R2 SWAN and see if there is a brighter star next to it? I'm wondering if we know what that star is. If this is the comet or if there is a bright star next to it. Okay, there is another one showing up above it. The comet is supposed to be 5.5 magnitude. So we're looking for a couple of stars to the left of the comet that are brighter than 5.5. Okay, thank you. I'm going to see if it's willing to stack. By the way, just for the record, Seestar would have never calibrated. Okay, what is it that you don't like here? Thanks, John. R2-SWAN is at 9 degrees altitude now. We have a satellite trail on the top part of the screen. It is stacking, so we may have to revisit. I'm going to let it stack for 5 minutes or so. I think I see Comet here. Let's see if that is what we have indeed. Anybody with a 77-inch screen? Let me see if this is indeed our comet. A star right above it, and then a parallelogram around it. and we are seeing a power line under it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just joined us, this is the Pompey Observatory on the road. Uh-oh. Okay, we have a situation here. The laptop is not charging. Oh. That was not in the books tonight. I have it plugged in. Okay, we should be back live. What you are seeing is, so we have the charge on the telescope, we have the charge on the tablet talking to the scope, we have the charge on the cell phone talking to the cell tower, and then we have the charge on the laptop that's running everything. That is plugged into the Tesla's battery, so it should last for a long time, but for some reason it's not transferring juice. So that's going to be our limfac. That is Air Force speak for limiting factor. But we do have the Comet. I don't know if you guys can see it yet. It's right here. I'm using a 12 volt to 120 volt inverter, and that in which I plugged the power supply of the laptop directly in it. This one is a 65 watt laptop. The power adapter that came with it is only 65 watts, so that's 5-6 amps of the 12 volt. So next time for this setup we will bring the big portable power supply. Yeah, this laptop is, it's a ThinkBook, Lenovo. Everything solid state in it. Doesn't even have a fan. Very low power consumption, which is what I like about it. Let me see if I can convince the laptop to reduce the brightness on the screen dramatically. Can you guys still see? Because I can't see anything. I'm trying to reduce the brightness. I'm assuming here that the display is sucking up much of the juice. Zina, you might be interested in knowing that we got more new subscribers yesterday than we did the entire month preceding that. So in one day, we got more subscribers than the entire month of September. So thank you guys for subscribing. And if you're not subscribed yet, please do subscribe. You're not going to find another channel on YouTube that does what we do here. And you certainly are not going to find the same kind of people who are on the chat night after night when we go live. It's somewhere down there. Let me see if I can put a red arrow on it. We are always experimenting, and what that means is we're always creating bugs. If I got the arrow in the right place, you should be able to see it. Yep, it's right above the arrow. They said magnitude 5.5. I cannot believe it for a second. I really expected to see a lot more of a tail than this. And it's sinking rapidly. Zina, your coffee definitely helped. Thank you. Plans for the week. Tomorrow night is looking good. Actually, tomorrow morning is looking good also. So if the dogs wake me up early, we will take a peek at A6 Lemon. Otherwise, we will do some solar observing tomorrow, and then definitely evening observing from the Pompey Observatory. Tuesday is a wash. Wednesday night is good. We'll be back live Wednesday night. The good news is my low noise amplifier is expected to be delivered on Wednesday. So if that arrives, we'll be doing some radio astronomy on Wednesday, trying to catch the Milky Way. And that we can do regardless if it's cloudy or not. Bill, I found an 8-foot C-band dish in Penfield, New York, near Rochester. I am in communication with the owners. I'm gonna see if I can pick it up this week. That's going to be a big acquisition in more ways than one, literally. That should decrease the beam width from the 30 degrees that the 2-foot dish gives me to probably about 4 or 5 degrees. So the 1 pixel at a time of imaging the Milky Way will take a little bit less now than a full year. The good news about this particular dish is that it has been sitting in a garage for 15 years or so. So it's not sitting outside in the elements being bombarded by rain, hail, snow, sun, everything else. And it looked good, in good condition. They said the motorized drive comes with it as well as the mount. So I'm looking forward to picking it up sometime this week, I hope. Yeah, the Sky Live shows it as 5.9. Right now it is down to 7 degrees altitude. We lose it at 5 degrees here. So if you'd excuse me for a minute, I'm gonna get out of the car and see if I can see it. I mean, I doubt, if DWARF is only showing it as a smudge, I doubt I'll be able to see it, but I'll be right back. Let me check. Negative. The moon is way too bright. The entire sky is lit up, which may explain why we're unable to see a comet, at least not any brighter than a smudge. I'm going to do the futile exercise now of stopping the capture and recalibrating and going back to it just in case we have it outside the field of view. So that's going to be our last hooray before it sinks below the horizon from here. But all in all, the setup seems to be working. Apparently even, can you guys hear me well? Because I forgot to bring my microphone and I'm relying on the microphone that is built into the laptop. Atlas. Look for. There's R2 SWAN. Go for it. Thanks, Raider. I may be coming to your neighborhood sometime next week, if all goes well, to pick up an 8-foot dish from Penfield. Thanks, John. On the docket for tomorrow, we will be, I have the setup all worked out. We'll be conducting a systematic assessment of the Wi-Fi patterns of DWARF 2, DWARF 3, and Seestar to see how well, how directional they are. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to driving on the thruway with all the construction that's going on, but looks like too good of a deal to pass up. No, we have a full-size van, and the dish breaks into 4 pieces. The Comet is the same place, same size, same everything here, so we were not too far off. So DWARF's database is not actually slightly better than the RA deck that I entered. The van that we have will carry a 4x8 piece of plywood. So an 8-foot dish, if it indeed breaks into 4 pieces, no piece is going to be more than 4x8. So it should fit nicely. And there it is. Here's the arrow pointing to this green smudge that is the comet. We also learned that satellite trails are worst in the hour before sunrise and the hour after sunset, which may explain why we have dropped 36 out of the 50 frames so far. It is stacking only 1 out of 5 or 6. The dish is going to be for the radio telescope. It was originally used for satellite TV, 2.4 gigahertz dish. I will be replacing the electronics on it with a 1.4 gigahertz feed, a 1.4 gigahertz low noise amplifier, and then a software defined radio tuned at the 21 centimeter band, 21.106 centimeters, to try and detect the hydrogen line in the Milky Way. John, I will be going back to all the stuff that you sent me from your Lockheed friend. I'm still trying to wrap my head around what to do with the individual points that I'll be capturing, whether to colorize the Doppler shift or to colorize the magnitude, the amplitude of the signal, or whether we're going 3-dimensional for every point. Thank you, cool cats. Please subscribe if you have not, and ask your entire neighborhood, family, and friends to subscribe as well. We have quite a few viewers from the UK. Actually, I did my postgraduate studies in the UK. Spent quite a good time in Salford in Manchester. Think of that dish as a single point sensor. The infrared and the light that we image with our optical telescopes, they're using wavelengths about 140,000 times shorter than the hydrogen line, the spin flip emissions. So in theory, you will need a telescope that's 140,000 times bigger aperture-wise. That's why the telescope in China is, they have a 500-meter aperture telescope, And it's funny to look at the pictures, the satellite imagery of that telescope. There is a football field next to it that looks tiny, because you have to put 5 football fields in a row to get to the size of the telescope. So we're going from initially a 2-foot to an 8-foot. I don't think I'll be getting any bigger. But then, as all of you in astronomy know, your scope is never too big. You can always get bigger. So we're gonna be sticking with 8 foot for a while. Yeah, John, I plan to reach out to him as soon as I said, as soon as I wrap my head around that whole thing that is radio astronomy. Yeah, our only technical failure tonight has been the power supply. The laptop has just alerted me that it has turned on power saver and it'll be shutting down soon. The Comet is 4 degrees altitude, so we can no longer see it from here. And in the interest of just sharing some quick data, I'm running a speed test, and it says that we have a 350 megabit per second download. And 18 megabit per second upload. Which is not bad at all for being out in the country near a cemetery. So we do not need the 5G booster here. Alright, computer is shutting down. I wish you all a good night, and I'm gonna pack and go home. We'll see you tomorrow.